Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the ThePCelitist. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd, and today we are going to do something we have not yet done. We have reviewed games before, but after asking you all if you would like us to start reviewing them again, what you've said is that you don't really want a straight review, because those are stupid and boring and you can get those anywhere. You want more of a discussion. And so we have a format that we've come up with, and a style that we hope you like, and if you have any feedback, please give it. Today we're going to talk about Natural Selection 2. I myself have not played it. I've watched Woodsie play it. He has played it a great deal, and so I'm going to ask him some questions that aren't staged or fake. They're just questions that a person who hasn't really played it would ask.
Right.
And then hopefully you can get a sense of that if you
We
have
didn't
the same
write these
questions.
down beforehand.
Correct. So hopefully you have a sense of questions you may have. Hopefully I may ask some of the same questions. So we'll try and get a sense from him, of the Natural Selection veteran, what he thinks of the game. So I'm going to let him do a quick intro of the game in case you're not familiar with it. So take it away, Woodsie man.
It was, I believe, the most popular Half-Life 1 independent indie mod back in the day. In 2002 it came out. I was just looking at their website. They had 10,000 unique players playing. Fantastic game.
What's the premise?
Well, the premise is, if you've ever imagined, or tried to imagine like I have, I want to play a game like StarCraft, but everyone on the ground are real people. And everyone on the ground knows there's a commander up in the heavens, organizing the fight. Mm-hmm. Why can't that exist?
Colonel Duke.
Right. And that exists with Natural Selection. It is an RTS and FPS. It's on an RTS for only one guy, unfortunately, which usually most rounds start with, okay, who's commanding?
Mm-hmm. So it's Space Marines versus...
Yes, it's like aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, it's Space Marines versus...
Creepy, globby...
aliens.
Doggy
They're
aliens.
Zerg.
Yes.
They're very much Zerg-like.
They weren't so much in Natural Selection 1, based on my recollection.
They're a little goofier looking.
Yeah, not really the same.
They're very similar models, but the game's lighting and the graphics are just so much better in NS2. They look actually look kind of scary, and the environments are very dark. It's like StarCraft, except no Protoss. It's just Zerg and Marines.
Boo on that.
And it's kind of a mix. It has its influences from Aliens, the movie, and StarCraft, and
Firefly.
No.
Damn.
I know. We're waiting for that one.
Yeah. So, first Natural Selection came out in 2002. At what point did you know that NS2 was coming out?
I found out probably 4 months ago.
Oh.
That this was...
So
I wasn't tracking this. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't tracking this. I just suddenly came across it. I'm like, NS2?
So it's about 9 years later.
Well,
what were your first thoughts?
Well,
when you heard?
5 years later, I found out they were working on it, but it was one of those things like Duke Nukem Forever, where nothing was ever happening.
Yeah, or the Arrested Development movie.
Right.
Or the WoW movie with Sam Raimi directing.
Right. And then one day I was just wondering, and it had a beta out, and you could pre-purchase and get in the beta. I was all super excited.
Excellent.
Yes.
So what were you hoping they kept from the first game?
Right.
And, were you hoping that they'd kind of reinvent the engine and the style, or were you hoping that they'd keep Crisis to Crisis 2? Were you afraid of what they were going to do to it?
Yeah, two things. The kind of hectic, very strong, very steep learning curve gameplay, that they weren't dumbing it down for a new audience, that this was a Natural Selection game again, and that it is difficult to get a hang of, and two, that very special atmosphere that only Natural Selection has, like that very special atmosphere that only Killing Floor has. Some games have a atmosphere.
Oh my god!
Yeah. No one's ever going to make the atmosphere that Killing Floor has.
Yeah.
It has its own unique thing.
It's Killing Floor.
Right.
That's what it is.
And this is Natural Selection. It has its own atmosphere, and they hit it on all accounts. It's so much like the first one, and they just basically took the first one and improved upon it so far, and it's just in beta.
Nice. You mentioned earlier that the commander plays a very RTS role. I was going to ask, because I'm intrigued, but we've seen commanders do well in certain Battlefield games. and then we've seen them not have a commander.
Right.
So some commanders are worthless,
Yes.
be it the function of the commander or just the person in the seat. You feel like, as it was in 2142, good commander equals most likely you win, bad commander equals you're going to lose.
Right. Very
So
much
you're
so.
as good as your commander.
You're as good as your commander, but your commander is only good as their troops as well. I mean, there is a...
Call that bidirectionality for those playing the home game.
There is a team play element, and there is a connection to your commander, especially on the Marine team. Especially, that's why a lot of people favor Marines. Because you have a special connection to your commander that is very endearing when it's working. Like, when your commander is very on top of what you can do. Because the commander can either just kind of hands off and, like, not deal with you, or he could be constantly dropping you health, ammo. He could even cast a little shield around you so you take 50% less damage. Which means that if you move out in tiny groups instead of, like, just one guy going everywhere, then the commander can pay attention to you more individually as groups. And it works better as a team. It has the potential as a game to be very, very team play oriented.
And it seems like from watching you play, which I haven't done a great deal of, mostly tonight, before recording this, I just tried to get some senses about it, so some questions I would ask. So I thought of some of these questions as I watched you play, but obviously you don't know what they are.
Right.
But it looks as though it's very much about map control, kind of like in your StarCraft analogy, where you start at two opposite ends and you work towards the center, and it's all about who can control which room and set up bases, and so the commander plays a strong role in that too, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely. Like, basically, usually the strategy is to get resources, because there's resource nodes all throughout the map. And obviously, once you set them up, you want to control them. Now, the aliens and the Marines, they work a little different. Like StarCraft, they have to spread their creep and connect it before they could take the resource node, whereas Marines are more mobile, they kind of go out. But so it becomes a game of map control. There's only specific places where the aliens can set up a hive, so the aliens have to be very aware of where the Marines' movement is and where they could potentially put their hive and defend that location. So it's a lot about there's a lot of recon in the game too, which is what I do when you're playing as the Skulk, the little alien. So sometimes I just run around just reconning where their movement is, where their heaviest troops are, so you could work around it. Hit them where they ain't.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. One of the things I noticed, speaking of the little skulky guys, from the first game, you basically are this blob of alien goo who hangs out on the ceiling. Often. People would often hang out on the ceiling, and for some poor dumb bastard to run underneath and get an eye full of alien.
Right.
Aesthetically, how does the first one compare to the other? Do you feel like the mechanics are there in terms of an alien could be waiting around any corner? Do the alien models look good? How do you like the ambiance and the aesthetics of the game?
Well, the lighting in this game is pretty fantastic. They've done a great job with real-time lighting, where the Marines besides you when they turn their flashlights on, all that is real-time lighting. I've actually spotted aliens on the roof because I'm walking through a room and I see that, because on the roof they run over a light, so I see their shadow on the ground.
That's awesome.
And look up. I've actually had that to happen to me multiple times, which when I'm an alien, I make sure not to run over lights.
Or you could do it purposefully to draw attention away from a unit on your team who's more of a killer.
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, I do that all the time.
Well, you could use it tactically, though. You could draw all the attention up at the ceiling if you run back and forth across the lights, and when people are looking up, you send in the Zergling. It seems like that'd be one popular.
Yeah, you can. You could do that. That's actually one of my favorite maneuvers. Is just be a distracting alert. Is like just a distraction, and everyone else comes
Distractling.
A distracting. I like to act
Add
like
an L
a
to
raptor.
distracting. Yeah, right. Yeah. Clever girl. How is the community?
So far, it's very, very friendly.
Did they feel like a bunch of assholes who were just taking a break from Call of Duty, or did they seem like original players or tactical players who like to play as a team? And
original players, because each guy is so important. I noticed that if you start just like calling out a guy's name often, like just where you going, what are you doing, everyone wants to have their buddy, because the Marines can also repair each other. So like if some guy's like saying,
you robots?
No, but they repair each other's armor.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's Yeah, it's a lot because it's so team play. I think people are mostly nice. Now they have a tendency when you lose, go, "Oh, our commander was shit."
Yeah.
But you can't get away from that.
Yeah. Final question, and I know this is the ultimate litmus test for you, and I think I know the answer. Is this the game that you feel the developers want to play themselves? That they enjoy playing it themselves?
Absolutely, through and through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's proven when you go if you go to their website. There's a production log or design log to be more accurate, and their design log just tells what they're working on, what they think is going on in the game community, and just basically their thoughts and what they're moving forward to. And speckled throughout, you just see their comments like, "Wouldn't it be awesome if? Wouldn't it be cool if? I would like it if the Marines felt like." And it just tells you that these guys, they want to get in there and play as much as they want to complete the game.
Hydralisks on skates. What are your thoughts?
Not necessary.
Yes. So, those are the questions I had in just developing the last couple minutes watching him play Natural Selection 2. Please, if you have any other questions, please submit them to Woodsie, and he will gladly answer them because he is obsessed with NS2, as you all should be. And as I'm sure it will be, too. It looks pretty freaking awesome. Any final thoughts?
Check it out. Because you get to play with the developers, too, which is fun.
Sweet. And maybe Woodsie.
And me.
If you want to play with them, though, send them an invite.
On Steam.
On Steam.
Yeah. More information as follows. Anyway, my name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd, and this is the ThePCelitist signing out.